Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Language and Science. And today we are going to discuss about English literature. And in that particularly, we are going to learn the topic, The Fun They Had. It is written by ISAAC Asimov, who is famous in the field of literature. Particularly, he has written science fiction kind of work. He has written science fiction. Before going further ahead, let me introduce you my channel. My channel name is Languages and Science. So before going further ahead, kindly subscribe it, like it, share it for others so they can get information as well. So coming back on this topic that you would be having question that what is fiction? So the meaning of this word fiction is not real. So, science fiction is a kind of genre in the field of literature where you are going to see not real thing and our story is set on that plot. Okay, so here before we are going to start this chapter, as you can see that the story we shall read in this set in the future. This story which we are going to see the fun they had is going to deal in the future time when books and schools as we now know them will perhaps not exist. So the story is dealing with that as we are living in this 21st century. In future time, it may possible that these textbooks are not going to be where virtual classes are going to be taken by robots, by computers. How will children study that? So one more question you'll be having at that time that at present we are learning in the school, but at that time how children are going to learn, because at present we are learning in the classroom with the help of teachers, with the interaction. But if the teachers are not going to be, so how they are going to learn with the help of robots, how they are going to learn with the help of computers? So the diagram below may give you some idea. So here the diagram is mentioned over here, learning through computers. So here the first thing is mentioned over here, that is learning through computers, and the second one, virtual classrooms. So learning through computer, you can find out whatever source of information you are searching. With the help of computers, you can Google it. Yes, you can YouTube it. Virtual classrooms means here. This is the example. This is the exact thing which we are going to see in our chapter. That is virtual classroom, where each and every kind of information is loaded, pre-installed in that PC, in that computer. And when you are going to open it, you are going to learn step by step. The next one is, as you can see that is a robotic teacher. You would have seen in so many movies that teachers, yes, these robotic teachers are there. That is the another example. And moving e-text. So nowadays, you would have noticed that this Google has improved its text form, and you can, whenever you are going to select it, it is going to pronounce those text. So that is moving e-text. So with the help of this things, yes, students are going to learn in future. So this is going to be the schools of future. This is going to be the form of future schools. So here we are going to leave this second one. Have you ever heard or have you ever read words on television or computer screen? Can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers and there will be no books printed on paper? Have you ever imagined that how it is going to be when there won't be any hard books? Yes, only, yes, the books are going to be in computers. There won't be any books in, yes, in hard form as you people are learning today. Would you like such books better? How you are going to, yes, feel at that time? So that is what we are going to see today. So before going further ahead, we are supposed to learn the topic that the fun they had. Why this writer has decided, why the writer has thought that we should have this topic. The meaning of this topic is the fun they had is how the people have enjoyed, how they have gone through during their school age. Yes, so the fun they had in their school time. That is what the writer wanted to suggest us over here. First point we are going to discuss over here that it is starting. There are basically three main characters are there. First one is Margie, second one is Tommy, and third one is Mrs. Jones. So here, the story starts like that. Margie is writing a diary. Okay, and in that diary, she has mentioned the subject like today Tommy found a real book. So here we are going to see that this Margie and Tommy are playing two vital characters over here. So before that, we are supposed to get the idea that let's start this first one. Margie even wrote about in that night in her diary. So in her diary, on that night, she has written what she has written. See that on the page headed 17th May 2157, she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So, what was the subject of that diary? So, the subject was, "Today Tommy found a real book." It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. So now here, Margie wanted to give a kind of a reference that when her grandfather used to tell her stories, at that time her grandfather has mentioned that at that time her grandfather's grandfather used to study in school, okay, and used to study in printed books, hard books, okay. Let's go back to that next page. They turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly. So her grandfather told her that when they were learning those books, yes, those book were having what kind of pages? Yellow pages. And crinkly, the meaning is given over here with many folds or lines. So on those books, they were having so many lines over there, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to. So when we are reading in computer, when we are reading on any digital gadgets, those words we can move them. We can, yes, we can take them up, we can take them down. So, but in books, it's not possible. In books, we just have to turn the pages. On screen, we know that whenever those writings are going to be on screen, we can change it. Yes, and then they turned back to the page before. It had the same words on it that it had when they read it first time. And those words are going to be the same because when a book is going to get published, when a book is going to get printed, you cannot change the typings. Whatever things which are written on the book, one cannot change it. So here, what there's a Tommy said that G said Tommy. What a waste. So G is a kind of expression when any person is feeling annoyed. Okay, at that time this G expression is used to say, Tommy, what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just threw it away. So here Tommy wanted to say that when you are going to complete that book, you are not going to use it further. So obviously you are going to throw it out. I guess our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away. And he here wanted to say that thank God that in my television I'm having a lot many books, and those books are e-books, and we are not going to throw it away. Same with mine, said Margie. Margie is also using those kind of book, those kind of e-books. Here she wanted to, yes, explain. She was 11 and hadn't seen many telebooks as Tommy had. And here we are going to see what is the age of Margie. The age of Margie is 11 years, and the age of Tommy is 13. So compared to Margie, Tommy is, yes, older, and he is having, yes, more reading experience compared to Margie, and that's why Margie has said that she was 11 and hadn't seen as many textbooks as Tommy had. So Tommy had read so many textbooks, so many stories compared to Margie. She said, "Where did you find it?" And now Margie is having a kind of curiosity that from where this Tommy would have got this book. So now Tommy is answering that in my house. He pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. So attic here, the word explained over here is space just below the roof used as a storeroom. So attic here we can say that it's small room. Generally this attic is going to under stairs. Small room under stairs are known as attic. So there's Tommy was reading this book over there, and he explained that he got that book where in his house. What's it about? So now this Margie is having kind of curiosity. She wanted to know that what kind of book it is, what kind of subject that book is having. So Tommy has said that that book, the type means the topic of that or the heading of that book is school. Margie was scornful. Here, you would be thinking that what is the meaning of this word scornful? So, contemptuous. Here, showing you think something is worthless. So, Margie was thinking that this book is not useful. Worthless means not useful. She was thinking that why she has said that here. Let me give you a reference that she is. Yes, she is completely negative towards education and study. Here we are going to get the idea that when we are going to go further, we are going to get the idea that why she was not ready to listen about study, to listen about education. That's why she has said that Margie was scornful. She was not thinking that school, that education is useful. School, what's there to write about school? And that's why Margie has asked that there is nothing new. What a person is going to write about school? I hate school. And the reason why she has said that school subject is worthless, not useful because she hate school. Then Margie always hated school. So here we have got the reference that why she hated that subject. So, but now she hated it more than ever. We are going to get the idea that why. Obviously, we have gone through the idea that she hates school. But now she hated more and more. We are going to get the idea that what is the reason behind it, that why she is hating more and more. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. So here, we people means you people are learning in school, but this is the time of 2157. It is future time when children are learning at their home on the computers. And that is what this Margie was doing. And why she was hating school? Because that in her house there was a mechanical teacher. There was a kind of a computer sat over there on front of it. Yes, Margie was learning daily, and that mechanical teacher was giving her test by test every day, and that is what makes her annoying towards study. And she was performing very worse, very bad, and for that reason, her mother was in tension that what will happen to her if she is going to perform like this. She is not going to learn well, and for that reason, she has called county inspector. Now, this county inspector is going to check that mechanical teacher. Here we are going to say that that county inspector is going to check, is going to see whether that mechanical teacher, whether that computer set, that robot set is working properly or not. Now, he was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. So he was a round little man. So here, appearance of that man. Who is this man? County inspector. So with a red face, so his face was a red one, and a whole box of tools and dials and wires. So what kind of equipments he was having? He was having box of tools and with dials and wires, different kind of cables he was having over here. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple. So when he came to her house, he has given her an apple and then took the teacher apart, and then he has started searching that and started settling that teacher, mechanical teacher. Here, let me tell you that teacher is not, yes, human being. That is mechanical teacher. So teacher apart, Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. So Margie was hoping that may it may possible that thing that not get repaired. But whatever she was hoping, she was knowing it that obviously this county inspector is going to settle it, going to install it, going to operate it. going to repair it properly. And when that county inspector has checked it, yes, finally that person has repaired it properly. And now Margie, once again, she is feeling little bit bad. Yes, that wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test paper. And the thing which she was hating more and more is completing homework, and she has to put her test papers, because we know that whenever we are going to give test, it is difficult for a human being to check it, but it is very much easy for a computer or any kind of software to check it properly, and they are going to give that result at that point of time. So that is why she was hating that mechanical teacher more and more. She had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old. And the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. So, generally, whenever she was learning and whenever she was giving test, yes, whenever she is going to complete the test, that mechanical teacher is going to check that paper, that test paper at that time, and going to give marks at no time. At that time only, that teacher is going to give marks. So that is what this Margie, yes, Margie was hating more and more. Now, the inspector has smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. Now you here would be thinking that why this inspector had smiled and patted Margie's head, because here we have got the idea beforehand. We have gone through that Margie was performing really bad, but still this county inspector, yes, patted Margie's head. Let's find out. He said to her mother, it's not the Margie, yes, it's not little girl's fault. So here that county inspector explained that it's not Margie's fault. Then what is the fault? Let's get the idea. Mrs. Jones, I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I have showed it. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. And here, that county inspector has said that the software of that mechanical teacher was working very speedily. And that's why that geography section was going too speedy. And that's why Margie was not able to keep space, yes, was not able to keep pace with that content. But now, yes, now this inspector has solved that issue, and he has, yes, settled 10-year level for Margie. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. And he patted Margie's head again, and he has once again said to Mrs. Jones that you don't have to worry about Margie, because Margie is performing really well. It is not Margie's fault. It is the fault of mechanical teacher. You don't worry. Margie is going to perform well. Margie was disappointed. So as she was hoping that this mechanical teacher is not supposed to get prepared, supposed to get repaired. But once again, that thing got repaired. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. She was thinking that this inspector is going to take this teacher away for a while, and she's going to get a bit space. She's going to enjoy that leisure time. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. And here she wanted to give the reference that once it has happened with Tommy, when Tommy was learning on that mechanical teacher on that computer set. At that time, the history section of that mechanical, yes, teacher was completely vanished, and for that reason, that mechanical teacher was taken away, and for that time, for that space, Tommy got free. So she'll say to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" So now, again, due to curiosity, she is asking that why anyone will prefer to write about school. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes, because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school they had, yes, that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So here Tommy wanted to tell her that that is not what we are having at our houses. That is completely different kind of atmosphere. That is completely different kind of school they were having. He added loftily. Loftily means here, in a superior way. He was explaining her in a kind of leader way, superior way, pronouncing the word carefully centuries ago. Yes, centuries ago, there was a kind of different tradition where students were learning. Yes, they were having different kind of communication in their classroom. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. Now, Margie was hurt. Margie was thinking that what kind of school they would be having at that time. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, anyway, they had a teacher. But whatever things Margie wanted to say that whatever things were there, but anyway, they had a teacher. We are having mechanical teacher, and they were having different kind of teacher. Now let's go back to the another portion. So, sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. But here, Tommy wanted to add something extraordinary that the way we are learning at our houses with the help of mechanical teacher, but they people were learning with the help of man, with the help of a human being, with the help of a real man teacher. A man, how could a man be a teacher? And now she is completely surprised. And she wanted to know that how it is possible that a man is going to be a teacher. Well, he just told the boys and girls thing and gave them homework and asked them questions. So now Tommy explained her that they were having a real kind of classroom. In that, he is going to ask students questions. He is going to ask yes, he's going to ask questions, answers. He's going to ask homework, test, and so and so. A man isn't smart enough. Here, Marge is thinking that a man isn't smart enough compared to mechanical teacher. Sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. And here, Tommy wanted to say that you are wrong. It's not possible that a man cannot be, yes, intelligent than computer teacher. He knows almost as much, I betcha. I betcha means I bet you. It is spoken in a speedy language. It is informal one. I bet you. Tommy said that he knows almost as much, yes, as much as that computer mechanical teacher knows. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. And Margie wanted to say that as she was learning in her house, yes, as she was learning, as she was studying in her house, she was thinking that this school would be in the house only. And that's why she said that I won't, yes, I would not want a strange man enter into my house and teach me over there. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. So here, Tommy explained her, yes, screamed with laughter, and he started laughing that what kind of idea having. Yes, they were having completely different kind of atmosphere. They were learning in a particular building, that is special building. Yes, where all the kids, where all the children were going and learning over there. And all the kids learn the same thing. The kids were learning same thing, sure, if they were the same age. So same age kind of students were learning same kind of stuff, same kind of getting same kind of knowledge, information over there. Now discussing the eighth number. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. And here, Margie wanted to say that each and every boy and girl having different kind of mindset, having different kind of IQ level. So they are supposed to taught. Yes, they are supposed to be taught in a particular way as per their requirement. Just the same, they didn't do it the way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. So here, there's Tommy. Yes, sorry. Here, the Margie wanted to say that just the same. They didn't do it that way. Then, if you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. So here, this Tommy wanted to say that it's up to the person. There are so many people who are fond of reading. There are so many people, those who are not even interested in reading books. So I didn't say I didn't like it. Margie said quickly. So here Margie wanted to say that I didn't say that. I didn't like or I don't like going to school. she wanted to read about those funny school. But now she is having a kind of anxiety to more and more about those time of school. And she, for that reason, she has decided to learn about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called Margie school. And when they were discussing that topic regarding school, when they were on the middle of it, at that time, Margie's mother has called and asked that this is the time when you're supposed to go for school. We know that her school is in her house. So Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now said Mrs. Jones, and it's probably time for Tommy too. And now at that time, Margie was not at all ready, and she was asking for some time from her mother. And Mrs. Jones, she has also said that this would be probably the time for Tommy as well to go for school. Tommy is also having a different kind of school mechanical teacher in his own house. Margie said to Tommy, "Can I read the book some more with you after school?" And now Margie wanted to know more and more about those schools, those older schools. And for that reason, she is asking Tommy that may we carry on this discussion further ahead after this time. Maybe he said nonchalantly. So he said nonchalantly. The meaning of this word nonchalantly means not showing much interest or enthusiasm. So this Tommy has given reply in a kind of a carelessly manner or in a careless manner. He walked away whistling, the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm, and he has carried away that book with him. And now he went from that place. Margie went into the schoolroom, and we know that where this Margie was learning all stuff, it was right next to her bedroom, and that schoolroom was next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. And as we know that these mechanical teacher are going to switch on themselves on particular time, so that the teacher was ready, was waiting for Margie when this Margie is going to come, that session is going to get started. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. So Margie was having holiday on which days? Saturday and Sunday. Now let's go further. So because her mother said little girls learn better if they learn at regular hours. So here you can see that the firma or the mechanical teacher kind of setting is mentioned over here. Virtual classroom, you can see that this is the screen where this Margie is going to learn. Okay, so because her mother said little girls learn better if they learn at regular hours. So her mother was believing that if these girls are going to learn each and every kind of things at regular intervals, they are going to learn better and better. The screen was lit up and it said today's arithmetic lesson is on addition of proper fractions. So today, now she is going to learn about addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. And now that mechanical teacher has asked that you are supposed to show me yesterday's homework, then we are going to go further ahead. Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had. Now, once again, she is thinking about those old school days, how the people, how the students, how these kids would be enjoying those schools. When her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy, all the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. And now she is, thinking that what would have been those days. How would be those days that when they were, going school together, they were enjoying going to school, laughing, shouting in schoolyard. When they are going to complete their school, they are going to come together, they are going to enjoy, they are going to talk, they are going to communicate, they are going to discuss whatever stuff they have learned in their school. They learned the same things, so they could help one another with the homework and talk about. And here she wanted to say that they can help even when you people are going to learn together. If you haven't learned properly, then you can ask your friend that what was it, so you can solve your doubt. So that kind of learning the people were having over there. And the teachers were people. and they were human beings. They are going to understand if you haven't got their point, and they are going to explain you again. That is not possible with the mechanical teacher. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4. So now that display, that mechanical teacher's display was flashing these fractions, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had, and now she is thinking that what kind of fun they had at that time and what kind of school we are having at this time. So here she wanted to say that whatever we people are learning, that is fruitful. Though you are going to get so many good things with the help of computer, with the help of mechanical teacher, but they are, yes, they are good material. Yes, they are good side materials, but the actual thing you are going to learn with the help of teacher, that is not going to be replaced by any other. So this is the beautiful work written by Isaac Asimov. Before going further ahead, you are supposed to do this activity, calculate how many years and months ahead from now Margie's diary entry. So you are supposed to get the idea that how much, yes, what was that future time you are supposed to measure, you are supposed to get that idea. Let's discuss these questions and answers. So I'm going to give you the idea, I'm going to explain you these questions, and you are supposed to get the answers by yourself. Let's discuss this first one. How old are Margie and Tommy? You are supposed to give the answer that what is their age. Second one, what did Margie write in her diary? What was the subject? What she was writing? Yes, she was writing about diary. What was the subject of it? What was the title of it? That is what you are supposed to write it over here. Third one, had Margie ever seen a book before? So here you are supposed to write it, whether she has seen that book for the first time or not. Fourth one, what things about the book did she find strange? What kind of things which were mentioned in the books were authentic, where for the first time she has seen it. Okay. Then fifth one, what do you think a tally book is? So here you are supposed to mention that what is tally book. You are supposed to explain this term. Where was Margie's school? Okay, so here you are supposed to locate that where was Margie was learning, where was her schoolroom. Did she have any classmates? Okay, you know that. What is the answer? What subjects did Margie and Tommy learn? So here you are supposed to give the idea that what kind of subjects they were learning. So finally we have completed over here. Hope you have got the idea that whatever things we have gone through here, let me revise this chapter, that this chapter is dealing with Margie having mechanical teacher, and she is not completely acquainted with that teacher, and she is thinking that the teaching, that process is very boredom, very boring, very, yes, and she is thinking that and for that reason only she is performing very bad. And because that process is one-way process only, she is not going to share her problems. She is not going to share her she is not going to share her doubts. How that doubts are going to be solved. So that is what over here. That is what mentioned over here. So kindly hit the like if you have liked the video. Okay, comment in the further section, and kindly subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.